Ooh-wee. Welcome to Food for Thought. Somebody gonna get blessed today. Somebody's gonna get blessed today. Look, I want to get right into this word. I just know this word is gonna bless you, and I'm gonna share a story with you today. And I want you to listen to this story because you're gonna love it so much. You're gonna want to share it with somebody else. Our scripture text on today on Food for Thought come from Proverbs, the third chapter, familiar passage for most of us, Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6, which say, trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. I want to talk to you today about trusting the Lord when you don't understand. When it don't just, when it makes absolutely no sense at all, but you know it's the Lord. Trusting him in spite of, trusting him with your heart, which is your mind, and leaning not to your own understanding, not trying to figure out how he gonna do this thing, but just trusting in him, his ability and his love for you. And when you trust the Lord, the proof that you trust him is that you're gonna obey whether you understand it or not. I want to use for a subject, Lord, that just don't make no sense. That just don't make no sense. Before I share the story with you that I want to share with you today, I want you to just consider what Noah must have been thinking. It had never rained. God told him to go build this big old humongous boat, this ark, and put 2 of the unclean animals, 7 of all the clean animals on this boat because it was going to rain. Didn't make no sense at all. None whatsoever. But Noah trusted him and he obeyed him. And because he trusted and obeyed him, when it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, all the people on the earth were sucking salt water. They drowned. But Noah and his family was saved because he trusted the Lord and obeyed him. Then I want you to consider what Moses must have been thinking. Lord, these people been in bondage and slavery for over 400 years. They on their way to freedom, and all of a sudden you look up and here's Pharaoh army fast behind them pursuing to bring them back. You got to understand, Pharaoh got to thinking about that thing, and he said, I got all this free labor getting away. I don't think so. And so Pharaoh was pursuing them, and they had the Red Sea in front of them. They've been slaves for 400 years. They didn't know the first thing about fighting. They couldn't defeat Pharaoh's army. They sure couldn't drink all that water in the Red Sea. They were between a rock and a hard place. But in Exodus chapter 14, verse 16, God spoke to Moses, and he told Moses, take that rod, that stick in your hand, boy. He said, stretch it over the Red Sea and divide it. Excuse me? The stick? He didn't understand, but he trusted God. He's trusting him. When you trust God, you don't have to understand. You just obey in spite of. Moses obeyed the Lord, and he stuck that stick out toward the Red Sea, and in the twinkling of an eye, it was a construction job that took place that would have took several crews of men several years to do. In the twinkling of an eye, there was a highway in the middle of the Red Sea. Think about what Joshua must have been thinking when the Lord told him the Jericho walls in your way. Okay, I tell you what you do, boy. You march around Jericho walls 7 times. You blow the trumpet and y'all shout. Huh? Do what? But he trusted the Lord, so he obeyed. They marched around Jericho walls 7 times, blew the trumpet, and they shout. And when they did, the walls fell flat as a 10-day-old pancake. Didn't make no sense. But when you trust God, you obey him. One more, come on. One more, and then I'm going to tell you about this story, I promise. Can you picture what Jehoshaphat must have felt in his heart when the Moabites and the Ammonites, these 2 mighty armies came against him? Jehoshaphat said, we don't have no power and we don't have no might, but Lord, my eyes are upon you. And the Lord told Jehoshaphat to take the army, march toward the enemy camp. But Jehoshaphat, boy, I want you to put the singers in front of the army. Wait a minute now, Lord. Come come again? We first of all, we can't defeat these people. You want us to march toward the enemy camp. We know we don't have a snowball's chance in Hades of defeating them. And then you want us to put the singers in front of the army? Am I hearing you right? He obeyed the Lord because he trusted him. God set ambushes. 2 Chronicles, the 20th chapter. Read it. God set ambushes. And those people got up and they started fighting amongst each other and they killed each other out. When Jehoshaphat and God's children got to the camp, everything in it was dead. And all of the spoil, all of the riches, everything that they had was now their possession. Why? Because he didn't understand it flat out. It didn't make no sense. Put the singers in front of the army to go to battle. And I mean, why would you send us to battle and we can't beat them? No way. But the thing about it is, although it didn't make a lick of sense, he trusted the Lord. And I don't care how much you say you trust the Lord. If you trust the Lord and you're not obeying him, I'm sorry, but it's no nice way to say it is. You are lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You do not trust the Lord if you don't obey him. I don't care what it looked like. We have to trust the Lord and lean not to our own understanding. Don't try to figure out. You know, I heard people say, God said it, I believe it, and let's sell it. Baloney. God said it, and let's sell it whether you believe it or not. But if you believe it and you trust the Lord, you're going to line up with it. You're going to obey the Lord, and he's going to move on your behalf and bless you every time. He withhold no good thing from them who walk upright. Now, let me share this story with you. It was this man. He was a Christian. He loved the Lord. His wife loved the Lord. They had 3 children. They were living the American dream. Beautiful home. He had an awesome job working for a company that was paying him 6 figures a year. I mean, he was bringing in some money. And I mean, they had anything that money could buy. And they loved the Lord, and the Lord was blessing them. They were happy. But the company that he worked for, somebody up at the top was caught up in corruption, and at any rate, the company ended up going out of business. They were sued out of business. And so that left him without a job. He wasn't too worried about it because he had a good work record. He had a good work history. He figured he would have no problem getting another job. And then another thing, he had made so much money over the years, he figured while he was looking for another job, employment somewhere, that he had enough money to sustain and take care of his family. But it so happened wasn't nobody in his particular field doing any hiring. And after a while, he ran out of money. And he didn't know what to do because his children were hungry. His wife was hungry. And he was struggling, but he hadn't gave up his faith in the Lord. He still loved and trusted the Lord. He went out to his garage one day. And when he was in his garage, he looked up on his wall and he saw an old rifle. Before he started working for this company, before he got married, he used to love to go hunting. But he had been hunting in several years. But he thought about it. He had a drawer that he kept bullets in. And he thought, I could go out in the woods and kill something. At least my babies and my wife won't go to bed hungry tonight. So he got the shell box out and opened the shell box with one shell. One shell. He saw, no. Because he didn't have no money to buy anymore. He says, this one shell, if I miss my children going to bed hungry. And he prayed, Lord, you got to help me. And so he went inside and told his wife what he was going to do. And they prayed together. He got in the truck and out to the woods he went. Time! I said, time! He got to the woods. The first thing he saw was one of the biggest turkeys he ever seen in his life. Made me think about David. When everybody was running from Goliath, talking about how big he is. He's so big, he's a giant. And David looking at him and said, yeah, he's too big to miss. And this is how he was looking at that turkey. He looked at that turkey and he said, Lord, thank you so much. My children won't go to bed hungry tonight. Ain't no way I can miss him. Because he didn't have but that one shell. But by being in fellowship with the Lord, walking with the Lord, loving the Lord, spending time with the Lord, he knew the Lord's voice. And the Lord spoke to him and told him, don't shoot the turkey. And he's like, huh? Don't shoot the turkey. Trust the Lord when you don't understand. That's what we're talking about. Even when it don't make no sense. And that didn't make no sense at all. Because his children was hungry and his wife was hungry. And they could have at least 2 or 3 meals off that big scow up there. But the Lord said, don't shoot him. So he obeyed him. He's shaking his head. And he looked up and saw a big old 7-point buck deer come walking. A big old deer. Look at all that meat, that big hiney part. Woo! He said, we can eat a while, 2 or 3 months. And he started thanking the Lord. Lord, I see why you didn't want me to shoot the turkey, because he didn't ever want jail. Because all that meat, we can eat 2 or 3 months off this deer. And he was thanking the Lord and shaking his head and getting ready to shoot the deer. And all of a sudden, when he opened his eyes from praising the Lord, he looked up, he heard a sound, and right in front of him, one of the biggest rattlesnakes he ever seen in his life, coiled up in a striking position, tail just, hey, oh Lord. Oh Lord, he said, now I see why you didn't want me to shoot. He said, now, because he knew the venom in the snake, if the snake had bit him, it was no way he would get to the hospital alive, because he was too far out in the woods. He would definitely die, and then he wouldn't have no hope of taking care of his family. So he aimed that gun to shoot the snake, but God didn't tell him to shoot, but he was going to shoot the snake. And the Lord spoke the 3rd time and said, don't shoot the snake. He said, get behind me, Satan. Get behind me, Satan. But he knew that was the Lord's voice. So he was at the fork in the road. Do I shoot the snake or do I obey? Every last one as a child of God, we're going to continuously find ourselves at the fork in the road. Do we go the way our mind, reason, the flesh tell us to go, or do we obey God? Although it don't make a bit of sense. But I know that that's God. So he knew it was God. He trusted him. And when we trust God, we obey. And so he was shaking his head, not understanding this, and God spoke the 4th time. He said, now, aim your gun high and shoot that turkey. And you know, I didn't know turkeys roost in trees. Google it. They actually do. But the Lord told him to aim that gun high and shoot that turkey, and he obeyed him. And when he shot the turkey, the bullet dropped the turkey, but it ricocheted off him and dropped the deer too. The gun hadn't been shot so long that the barrel of the butt of the gun flew off, hit the snake in the top of the head and killed him dead. And the impact was so strong that it knocked him backwards, and he fell back in the lake that was behind him. He had on one of them hunting jackets with them big deep pockets in it. When he came up out of that lake, he had some of the biggest catfish flapping in the pockets of that big old jacket. And that day, because he trusted the Lord, even though it didn't make a lick of sense, he went home with his turkey. He had deer meat, and if he wanted it, snake, and he had pockets with them big old catfish. He had plenty of food to feed his family because of one reason, because although did nothing make sense at all, he trusted the Lord and he obeyed him. When we trust him, we obey him. Isaiah 55:9 tell us that God's ways and thoughts are higher than ours. If you serve a God that you can figure out, you serve a mighty pitiful God, because the God that we serve, his ways and thoughts are higher than ours. We must trust him even when it don't make no sense. Always bear in mind, whatever situation you're in, he's always in the background working everything together for our good, especially for those who love him. We hope that you were blessed by food for thought on today, and hope that you will be very encouraged that in spite of what it looked like, know that God is with you, he's for you, and he's going to bring you through whatever it is. He's going before you to make those crooked paths straight. Just trust him, and if you trust him, you will obey him. God bless you.